All right, look, okay. I am a Boston Red Sox fan. So this is coming from a guy that has rooted for the Boston Red Sox his entire life, since I was a little itty-bitty creature. I've wanted to see the Boston Red Sox succeed. I've witnessed 3 World Series titles, 2004, 2007, 2013. I've witnessed them come close on multiple occasions to reaching the World Series within that time frame, 2005, 2008. And obviously I've witnessed some epic collapses, some epic rises in my time as a fan of the Boston Red Sox. And right now the situation is this, okay? We're at the winter meetings, or at the off season, whatever you want to call it, of baseball, and the market is slowly moving. Guys like J.D. Martinez and Eric Hosmer, guys that most people thought would be signed by now, are not. And the word is that they probably won't be for the next few weeks at least, because the market is just moving at a very slow pace. Most of the time, things really don't start kicking or heating up until after Christmas time. I don't know why. Maybe it's because of the holiday. I don't know why, but usually that's the case. Here and there, obviously, there's some big moves mixed in to start the winter meetings, where you have guys like Giancarlo Stanton moving from the Marlins to the Yankees. You have guys like Marcell Ozuna moving from the Marlins to the Cardinals. And you have guys like Carlos Santana moving from the Indians to the Phillies as a free agent. The first 2 mentions, Stanton and Ozuna, were obviously a trade. So we can't even technically count those as winter meetings acquisitions, because they're not, free agents. They were guys that were on a team that's going nowhere fast, and two players in Stanton and Ozuna that were the 2 best players on one team. One was heavily overpaid, the other was just at a premium point to get a premium package in return, and that was Ozuna, obviously. So that being said, Red Sox fans are in full panic mode, and I understand it. I get it to a degree. I don't really blame them, due to the fact that their arch rival has not 1 but 2 of the best power hitters in the game, in Judge and Stanton. But what they don't realize is the cap. Not the cap, but the salary that Stanton will be paid the next 3 years. That's going to handicap the Yankees at some point, whether it's this year or the next or the year after that. And what they don't realize is that, yes, Dave Dombrowski, I haven't been a fan of the majority of the moves that he's made as the VP/GM of the Boston Red Sox. I'd be the first to admit I'm not a fan of a GM trading everyday players for pitchers. And obviously that means, pitchers don't pitch every day. They pitch every 5th day if you're a starting pitcher. If you're a bullpen pitcher, you pitch, every 3 to 5 days still anyway. So the trade where Dombrowski, and I'm going to call him Dombrowski, sent Moncada and Kopech to the White Sox for Chris Sale. I love Chris Sale. Chris Sale is one of the best pitchers in the game, top 3 pitchers easily. But I did not like the fact that Dombrowski traded Moncada and Kopech, 2 guys that were the 2 of the best prospects in the Red Sox farm system. Moncada, an everyday player, a face-of-the-franchise type guy, and Kopech, a fireballer, future, starting pitcher. So you trade for Chris Sale. He's at a low salary for a starter of his caliber, $12 million a year, $12 to $13 million a year. I think up to as high as $13.5 million. I want to say over the next 3 years. And that's great. That's a huge discount you're saving in comparison to the market value of guys like Max Scherzer, who's making $30, Kershaw's making $30, and even our own beloved David Price is making $30. So Chris Sale, the ace of the Red Sox, is making less money than the number 2, number 3 pitcher in the rotation. Figure that one out. That's just the sport of baseball. But to say the least, Chris Sale, without Chris Sale, the Red Sox probably wouldn't have even been .500 this past season, because Chris Sale won the Red Sox a ton of huge games, was extremely clutch, and was a guy that I really thought that belonged here. He made sense as the ace of the Boston Red Sox. So I'm happy that they do have Chris Sale, but I'm not happy that they have overpaid, soon to be out of his prime, Dustin Pedroia, who I love, and I hate to throw shade his way because I want to let it be known this is one of my favorite players. He always has been. He always will be. He pretty much embodies everything that I had talent-wise as a baseball player. Short, big swing, hit the ball hard, not a power hitter whatsoever. That was my MO. Decent fielder, but, couldn't stay healthy. And that's Dustin Pedroia. So the fact is, Dustin Pedroia is at a time in his career where there's some real doubt as to whether he'll even be ready for the first 2-3 months of the season. Without a true starting second baseman, that is another huge hole that the Red Sox will have to fill. A hole that had they not traded for a guy like Chris Sale, let's just say hypothetically, Yoan Moncada would have filled that role. You have Devers at third, you have Bogarts at short, Moncada at second, whoever the heck you want at first, and go forward from there. Really the only legitimate move that the Red Sox have made since the start of free agency or the offseason, whatever you want to call it, is adding Mitch Moreland. And Mitch Moreland showed in spades that he was pretty good, but he also showed in some spades that he was pretty bad. So for the Yankees to go out and make this trade and get a guy with the allure of Giancarlo Stanton, one of the biggest names in the game today, the best power hitter in the game, bar none, the response to that has to be something better. It has to be something that can make the Red Sox fans go, woohoo! But I am seeing a lot of pessimistic posts from Red Sox fans, and I do get it. I'm not saying I disagree with it. I'm saying that the market is slow right now. I mean, we really look at it. Yonder Alonso just got signed by the Cleveland Indians. He wasn't even in the top 3 at his position when the free agency rankings were released. So things are moving very slow right now, and that stinks, and that's unfortunate, but I think that the Red Sox are right in there on J.D. Martinez. I still think that is a likely situation where J.D. Martinez will end up a Boston Red Sox, and that would add a huge boost to this lineup that the lineup really needs. If Dave Dombrowski thinks that they don't need 2 power hitters, if they don't want to go out and get Hosmer, that's fine, that's okay. But you re-sign Mitch Moreland. Hanley Ramirez only needs 400-plus plate appearances to get his $22 million option kicked in. I really hope that Boston tries to move Hanley Ramirez because I don't think he's worth that price. I think he was an underachiever last year, and I don't see him getting much better. Maybe if they did have a J.D. Martinez in the lineup as some sort of power protection for Hanley Ramirez, maybe Hanley's numbers would be better. But they're really lacking that power threat. And the fact of the matter is, one of the few reasons why I was pretty frustrated about this Stanton news is the fact that Stanton should have been of high interest to the Boston Red Sox. He represents exactly what they need. What they need is a guy like David Ortiz. You can't replace David Ortiz, but it would have been pretty nice to replace David Ortiz with the best power hitter in the game. Go from the best power hitter of one era to the best power hitter of another. But that didn't happen. Giancarlo Stanton's agent stated that the Red Sox weren't even interested in Giancarlo Stanton because they didn't think that there was a place for him in the outfield. The only reason why I think that would be a plausible thought, that he wouldn't be feasible in the outfield, is because he's a DH. Who are the Red Sox planning at having as a DH? Do they like J.D. Martinez more than Stanton? If they do, okay, there's certain things about Martinez that Stanton necessarily can't do. I get that. Maybe he fits their offense better. Maybe they feel that way. Okay. But at the end of the day, why were they not even a suitor for this guy? That is why I am frustrated. I think the Red Sox fans should take a second, relax, and actually realize why they are frustrated, rather than saying, well, this is this way, we have a dumb GM, which we do. I just feel like the fans themselves have a lot of frustrations, and it's mainly due to the fact that they want the Red Sox to react to the Yankees getting Giancarlo Stanton. The Red Sox needed work before the Yankees got Giancarlo Stanton. We have to focus on our own club rather than focus on beating the Yankees. We need to focus on being the best version of the Boston Red Sox that we can possibly be, and also focus on beating the Yankees, the Indians, the reigning World Series champion Houston Astros, who, for my money, with or without Stanton on any AL team like the Yankees or the Red Sox, the Astros are still the favorite. They won the World Series this past year. They have a deep starting rotation. They have a bullpen. They have hitting. They have it all. That's why they were able to beat the Los Angeles Dodgers. So, all in all, I get the frustration in Boston. I get the frustration at the Red Sox. I understand it. I'm a little bit with you there. But, on the other hand, I think the Red Sox are still a strong suitor for J.D. Martinez. I still feel they are a strong suitor for a lot of free agents out there. And let's just say they don't go all in on J.D. Martinez. I would want and hope for the fact of, for the matter that is Bryce Harper or Manny Machado or the multiple options that the Red Sox have in terms of free agents. That's what I would hope to go after. And I know that they're going to try to make their club the best possible club that they can, because that's what teams like the Yankees and the Red Sox do. They do whatever they can each and every year to make their team championship worthy. And most of the time they really pay a steep price for it. So, all in all, Red Sox fans, we got to relax. Usually things at this point move pretty slowly. I think that if I'm a GM and I'm working with one of the lower-ranked teams that's looking to trade a prospect away, or if I'm the GM of the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Yankees are calling me asking for Garrett Cole, I don't even answer the phone because the Yankees are just going to try to fleece the Pirates just like they fleeced the Marlins. Regardless of the money that they had to absorb, the players that they traded to feature in that trade were pretty terrible. So the return that the Marlins got was not worthy of much of anything. So I'm Ryan Thomas. That was the Thomas Take. Take care, everybody.